The 3rd of January, Kenyans are supposed to take back their children, those who are parents, back to school. What do you think? Because junior secondary, grade 7, reports back to their primary schools. When you're thinking about this, what do you envision will be this sort of conversation and activities in that school where you have now primary schools, kids or children between grade 1 and 6. You have a junior secondary learner. You also have a standard 8 learner. Yet the teachers, yes, there's a process to employ, but so far no one is ready to teach that grade 7 as of now.
First, let me give you the background. As I said earlier, you know, education is one of the most precious things that any nation, you know, anywhere, places a premium on. And it is especially for Kenya, because the biggest resource that we have as a country is our human capital. Today, our human capital earns us more money than all the other tea, coffee, our remittances from Kenyans who work 400 billion plus every year. So it tells you the importance of our human capital, number one. Number two, as you've said correctly, every parent, myself included, you think about the education of your child. And therefore it's a very emotional, it's a very important issue. So the change, the transition to CBC, from where I sit, is a correct transition. There could have been some missteps. Maybe it was, maybe we should have taken an extra 1 or 2 years to make sure that we get the teachers on board, we get all the other facilities on board. But that's now water under the bridge. That's why it was also a conversation in this election. And I took the decision that for us to get professional advice, let us put together a presidential working party of educationists and other stakeholders. And they have done a good job. They've talked to teachers, they've talked to parents, they've talked to other stakeholders, people who run schools and everybody else, and it was unanimous. 86% of 20,000 people that were engaged said they wanted the junior secondary to be near the parents, because many of these children are still young. Their parents need to look after them, to make sure that they are fine. And also it reduces on the cost of education. You know, if you have to take your child to a secondary school, you know, far away, maybe in a boarding school, it costs more. So I think the unanimous decision was made, and I believe that that is the correct decision. We also agreed that that transition is going to happen for all our children, you know, that are in grade 6. They will all transit to, because we still insist on the 100% transition. Mm-hmm. They will move to junior secondary. And as government, we took the decision that we are going to hire an extra 30,000 teachers, the largest ever, to make sure that that transition is not only smooth. And next year, we're going to hire another 30,000 teachers, just because of budgetary reasons, to make sure that our education is seamless. That presidential working party, I also tasked them, not just to look at CBC, but to look at our TVET institutions, to look at our university institutions, the whole education sector, because that is the sector that makes Kenya what it is, right? So apart from the transition and the CBC, also the TVET program, which has been my pet project, and I pushed it ever since I was Minister for Higher Education, slowed down the last 4 years because of politics, you know. But now we're going to hire another 2,000 tutors this January, to make sure that we are up to date with the skills and competencies that are being taught in our TVET institutions, especially those focusing on engineering, because that's the direction we are going.